Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix, Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to their Patreon. $5 a month, $54 a year. So, now in the last Let's Play, it was just me, Logan, the polar bear, and Russell, the shark, in the hot springs, where we, talked about a couple of things. Mostly, us, I'm not going to say perving, but, trying to seduce Logan because he smells so good. And then asking Russell if he has one or two. Apparently he has two. But also, with regards to sharks, it's 50-50 for some reason. Which, I wonder if that's actually true. Maybe, I've always heard two. I guess it do be like that. Also, Russell's going, hey, dude, are you okay, man? Because we're acting weird. But also, I'm wondering if they're kind of hinting at the fact that, hey, main character's acting weird, and his sense of smell is hyperactive right now. Maybe because of some sort of thing happening? I don't know. I feel like it's kind of one of these things where it could be like, maybe the crow guy is some kind of vampire. Or a sexual vampire or something like that. Though, I feel like they say there's a big twist at some point, maybe? Not sure. Maybe that's just my mind's bringing up various words or something like that. I guess we'll have to see. Wow, we bring our new compadre and love interest to a diner for a $49 lunch. Set face. And begin. Like those before me, I began my departure. As I headed down the steep tree-lined path that leads towards the overlook, I then ventured down the even steeper stairwell which came to the streets in the northern end of Woodcrest. I had some time while Logan tended to his dinner back home, so I had little choice but to burn some time. Perhaps I could spend it looking up cheesy one-liners. If I beat him over the head with enough, I was certain he would crack a smile eventually. After what seemed like an eternity, the agreed meeting time was close upon us. Accordingly, I entered the cafe with an eager swish of my tail, arriving 5 minutes ahead of schedule like a good host I was, only to discover I had been the last to arrive. It seemed as though my good manners hadn't been quite good enough, but I wondered, had he merely arrived early by accident, or perhaps he was secretly as excited as I was? Curious to find out, I joined my gorgeous companion, who had been greedily lapping down an ice cream sundae. You're here bright and early. Excited to see me, eh? I was hungry. I couldn't wait. I sighed dejectedly. Logan's harsh words cut like a knife. His absence of concern for my feelings was all too clear. Perhaps it was merely his abysmal social skills rearing their head once again. I was sure he didn't mean it. So, you getting a whole platter and yet you preloaded with ice cream sundae too? Are you absolutely sure you can finish all this? Yes. Damn, and I thought my friend Diego could put some serious food away. I'd have to see one of those platters to know for sure, but I'm starting to think you've got it beat. I need to look up a platter. I was thinking of that on the last Let's Play, but I forgot. Diego? Oh yeah, when I moved here with him, I sort of started crashing at his place until I found something more permanent. So far, that's not really looking hopeful, but I don't mind. It's fun living with your best friend, even if he can be annoying sometimes. Well, I just knew my eyes did not see when they sighted the most familiar and handsome husky seated over yonder. It's good to see you again, my good fellow. Likewise, Jay. Have you met Logan? How could I forget? Any man capable of finishing one of our platters, unassisted, earns themselves an exclusive position atop my own Mental Hall of Fame. Mental Hall of Fame? Such an incredible achievement. The sheer force of will reduces me to tears of awe. But I see your Sunday has met with an unfortunate demise, sentenced to the depths of your bottomless belly, for crimes which shall never be spoken. Perhaps they could use some company down there? Logan's gaze expectant me met with my own, patiently waiting for me to uphold my end of the bargain. I only hoped that that would be $49 spent well. Logan will have his usual platter of pastries, and I'll have a person menu, taking my decision from among the more reasonably portioned and priced-in fare. I was so spoiled for choice when it came to delicious sounding meals that no one thing meant to stand out. Oh, and should you order our delicious pancakes, in addition to what is on the menu, we now offer passion fruit syrups and the option to add your marvelous in-house artisan vanilla ice cream for mere $1.99. Huh? Passion fruit syrup and vanilla ice cream? Specifically those two things? What are the odds? I apologize for the absence on the menu. You're waiting on newly printed copies to arrive. Ah, the many joys of public suggestion box. Somebody suggest those specific ingredients? Together? Indeed, whoever it was had lovely handwriting. I'm wondering if main character's gonna be like, yeah, this guy is sexy, but, not my type, and I need to go back to Ty. It had to have been Ty. It was just too big of a coincidence not to be. Perhaps he did so on our first date? It made sense, though he could have slipped something into the suggestion box when I hadn't been looking. I'll take the blueberry and banana pancakes, thanks, just with cream. Not a fan of passion fruit? I understand. The pipes are the most dreadful to pick. The pips are the most dreadful to pick loose from the gaps between your teeth. Very well. Then I shall send your orders to the kitchen. Thanks, Jay. Say, you seem a touch gayer than usual today. Ah, but would you have it any other way? I suppose not. On any occasion? Or are you just in a good mood? Every day is a worthwhile occasion. But no, mostly just riding highs on joyous waves of flamboyance. Fair enough. I apologize. As much as I do enjoy such company, there are those still waiting for my legendary service. And service them I shall. Jay split away from our table, his retreat accented by a ridiculous and over-the-top twirl before he practically pranced his way behind the counter, taking Logan's now empty Sunday glass for the ride. It was hard to believe this guy was a bass player in a rock band. I turned my focus to the devilishly delightful companion, whose handsome features were twisted into a somewhat melancholy frown, no doubt mourning the untimely demise of his ice cream sundae. It was just as well, as there was an entire platter on its way to fill that sundae, shaped void in his delicate soul. You know that guy? Oh yeah, sort of. He's an acquaintance, I guess you could say. Nice enough guy, talented musician. Maybe a touch too famous at times. Fabulous. He's a touch too famous, those famous people. Touch too fabulous sometimes, but I'm not complaining. So, Logan, I'm so curious to learn more about you. I know that you do crafts and stuff, but what else? What do you do for fun? It's gonna be like, not much. Sometimes I read a book. Okay, books are cool. What else? I cook. I see. Do you have a Do you fancy yourself a bit of a chef? No, not really. I just like to make food for myself. You don't think you'd ever do as a job then? What's the point if you can't eat it? Oh. Took me a second. I was like, but wait, he's saying he doesn't make edible food? Oh, but he means eat it himself. I was torn between thinking Logan's answer was uniquely profound, yet bizarrely base in nature. I guess for him, cooking itself was not where his passions lay. Instead, the result of the cooking was. I guess that made perfect sense, but I love Cook Serve Delicious. Actually, I remember being extremely tired of that game the first time around because I did it as a Let's Play. There are so many videos of it. It did Cook Serve Delicious 2, and that was on my old channel, I think. Okay, what else? You're pretty built, and I have it in good faith that you're one hell of a scrapper. Do you train for that? Go to the gym? Anything? I go to the gym. Would you consider that a hobby? Maybe. I find it kind of cathartic. Cathartic? Okay, that's good. What else do you do? Do you listen to any music? No. So far, things are off to a slow start. Nothing I'd said so far inspired him to speak about himself at any length. He was curiously well guarded, his walls seemingly forming a perfect barrier to their heights borderline insurmountable scale. I knew not how to best proceed. Maybe if I talk about myself for a change, it would soothe his nerves and make him feel more comfortable speaking to me. Or maybe it would help us find a topic we're both interested in. I figured it was worth a shot. So, the first time I came to this cafe with my ex, I'm pretty sure he's responsible for those menu additions Jay mentioned. They're my favorite flavors. I feel like you stepped on the landmine right there. Were? I guess they still are. It's just he and we broke up on bad terms. It was a bit of a mess. I guess I kind of felt like ordering those things was giving him some kind of satisfaction, even though I know that's not really the case. He was really thoughtful when it came to little stuff like that, but he kept a lot of things from me too. Huge things that came between us. In the end, turned out I wasn't the only guy in his life. Great, you're trauma dumping on him too. Sorry. Don't apologize, Logan. That's his job. And I wouldn't even accept it from him anyway. Although, maybe I should thank him. After all, if we hadn't split when we did, I would be sitting here. That was such incredibly attractive company. I'm not being like, this game's dragging like I have been for the last couple things, right? And I'm just like, my god, Adrian, stuff your foot in your mouth because you're stuffing your foot in your mouth. I allowed that statement to hang in the air for several moments longer than it really ought to have. Logan didn't respond anyway, not by expression nor body language. He was akin to a sour-looking statue, in attempt to recover, and quickly fired a question his way instead. What about you, Logan? Ever been in a complex relationship like that? Is that no? Maybe you're looking for one then. No. But you're single, yes? Yes. Ah, I see how it is. Sample the flavors while you're still young, am I right? Enjoy all the wonderful variety that we have chosen to choose from. Once again, Logan didn't respond in any way. The whole idea of mine was starting to seem like it'd been a bad move. Yes. Following two further failed attempts at conversation, our flirtatious waiter would finally make his return, his two hands barely sufficient to carry the outrageous wealth of culinary creations. Gentlemen, I come bearing gifts of culinary magnificence. I was entirely grateful for the interruption. Russell had been right. Flirting with Logan was like flirting with a brick wall, and so far it seemed almost entirely impenetrable. I was glad to have an excuse not to flounder, despite desperately in a futile attempt to keep our discussion on life support. Jay placed a plate of delicious-looking pancakes in front of me before unloading a massive platter of pastries in front of the unsociable Ursine, his own share consuming almost the entire table, causing my pancakes to teeter precariously on edge. One thing was for sure, the platter was huge. Also, I'm gonna look up what a platter is. Let's play be damned. So it kind of looks like just a big long plate. I guess think of a dinner plate elongated. When I was thinking of platter, I was thinking like several large things. Like more than one dish. I knew now for sure, Diego had met his match. There was no way he'd be able to finish that whole thing. And here was Logan, poised to gluttonously gorge himself, mercilessly chomping pastry after pastry, until nothing but crumbs remained. Please do enjoy, and sing out if there is aught to require. Thanks, Jay. As always, my pleasure. Exhausted by the social tension, I dug into my pancakes, dipping each piece into syrup and cream before tossing into my maw, greedily gobbling down as my hands worked to prepare the next bite in sequence. Did you know they use specialty imported ingredients to make these? My eyes shut up, fixated on Logan's alluring blue eyes, as I hungrily, sorry, I was trying to put up a word, but, mouth is faster than brain. As I resisted the urge to pinch myself, I knew this couldn't be a dream, but Logan had just opened up with his own topic. Wonders could never cease. With the shoe on the other foot, I had hoped that Logan would work to maintain some conversational momentum. They do? Yes. It's an amazing platter that doesn't cost more. They can't be earning much. That doesn't cost more. I swallowed my mouthful. Why, after 20 minutes of trying and failing, was Logan speaking now? Was he truly that passionate about food? Or maybe the secret was for me to shut up all along. That's interesting, Logan. Do you know lots of things about food? Some foods. Usually sweet foods like these pastries. I have a bit of a sweet tooth, huh? Yes. And you sure you don't actually like cooking or baking anything like that? Yes. Maybe you could be like a food connoisseur or something. Stun the world with your refined taste and impeccable palate, or something like that. But then you don't get to enjoy the food. You just criticize it. I mean, not if you enjoy it, right? Surely if you like it, no one is going to be mad if you finish the plate. Evidently, it had screwed up. Evidenced by the return to focus on Logan's enormous platter and subsequent silence that followed. It struck me that, so far, the only topic that had borne fruit was the topic of food. There just had to be something else Logan would talk about. Did you know Jay over there was a rare species? Yes, he's an Ortegan. Huh? How'd you know that? He's a southern winter dragon. Kinda stands out. What? You know that just by looking at him? I heard the Ortegans before, but I had no idea when I first met him. It was only yesterday that I learned about this whole doomsday clock disorder thing that's happening. It's kinda spooky, huh? No. You don't think so? Why worry about things that you can't change? I suppose you have a point. It's mostly out of sight, out of mind for people like us. Sounds like all kinds of brilliant minds working on the problem, though. Oh, yeah. I really hope they find a solution. I don't. Yet again, the silence returned. What else was there? Was he the kind of person that liked movies? If I talked about some of my favorite movies. Also, it's like, I don't know. I feel worried about like things that won't affect me. Just saying. I grew up with this animated movie about, well, cats. Wild ones, sort of. 4 legs. They talked and all that. It was a musical. Do you know the one? The one called Cats? I remember when I was just a small pup, and there's this one scene in the movie. This silly thing, where one of the cats kind of jump scares some dude driving a truck. No wait, is talking about a musical? I was like, oh, it must be the movie Cats, or you know, they play cats. One I'd never seen, but I read the synopsis about it and like, wait, this is the movie Cats? What a weird fucking concept. But anyways, maybe they're talking about the Aristocats. Jump scares. Anytime to watch the movie, I knew about 5 minutes beforehand the scene was coming up. I had to leave the room until it was over. Only once I knew that it passed, I'd come back and watch the rest. Looking back, it wasn't even scary. It was just, well, silly. But I guess when you're a kid, even silly stuff like that seems scary. When I was little, my mom used to work long hours, and I'd go to daycare during holidays. They took us to movies once. They couldn't split us up or anything, so they put the movie we wanted to watch up to vote. They voted for a scary movie. There was this dead lady who haunted the place. These people disturbed her, and she followed them everywhere, trying to kill them. I was only 8 years old. Shit, I think I know the movie. It's foreign language, right? Yes. I saw that when I was like 19 or something with Diego. I had nightmares for like a week. I can't imagine what it was like at 8 years old. I'm not sure what that movie is. It was great. What? Perhaps Logan had just been traumatized all this time. A healthy diet of childhood horror movies, making him appear dead inside? Then again, that was the most he'd said in a good long time. Was it possible I was making a breakthrough? I suppose that would teach me for doubting him, just as Logan had said. He had cleared an entire platter all on his own. Seriously impressive stuff. I wondered if I drank Diego here, if he'd be able to match Logan's record. I was almost certain that he would not, but it would be fun finding out. So, blueberry and banana pancakes and a pastry platter. It comes to $58.90. Paying by card? Yep. I had handed Jay my card, and he immediately began processing my payment, the first few seconds of which were performed in silence, lulling me into a false sense of security. But I knew it was coming, and so, while Logan occupied the bathrooms, Jay launched into a barrage of questions. You know, I've gotta ask, right? With a sigh, I leaned forward and rested my weights on my elbows atop the counter. I gave him a receipt something look, prompted him to begin the onslaught, as ready as I would ever be. Where do I even start? I guess, how long have you known Logan for? I don't know, 2, maybe 3 hours? Was out there with some friends, and we happened to be in the same place at the same time. Okay, and you brought him back here. Why exactly? Why not? Well, I kept overhearing your discussions. Well, attempts at discussion, more accurately. It's not going very well. We only just met, and I brought him here, so I could get to know him better. Woodcrest wasn't built in a day, you know? Look to me like a rough first date, yeah. kind of... the kind that doesn't get a second shot. I admit, I'm having a hard time getting him to open up. But you admit that was a date then? I mean, it's not strictly true, but it's not false either. I'm so confused. Where does Ty fit into all this? I groaned, tired of telling everybody what happened, tired of having to excuse my behavior, tired of people's doubt and skepticism. Let's get that crap over with. We broke up yesterday. I caught him telling someone else that he loved him, and he can't even answer me why. I walked in the end. I had enough. No way. Ty? Really? You're far from the first person with that reaction. Surely this is some big mistake. If it was, you think he would have explained himself to me. Instead, he outright refused. Could they have been family? He was platonic? A tiger and a raven? Pretty unusual family. And platonic? Not with that choice of words, it wasn't. A raven? The very same you asked about the night at the strip club? The very same. I still don't know shit about him. I'm tired of being kept in the dark. I take it you don't know anything more? It's just like I said back then. He comes through every once in a while. I don't know what his deal is. The manager seems to really respect him though. Always demands that his meals be free, or even then slips us cash for payment when the boss is looking. Jared turned with my card when he tucked it securely into my wallet before collecting my receipt. Reviewing the totals, my eyes rapidly fixed themselves on the camp's logo, Café du Volks Mondaire. Hey, the name of that cafe, Du Vieux Monde, any ideas where it comes from? It's named after one of the three founders of Woodcrest, a guy named Sebastian Du Vieux Monde. Heard of him? I have. Tell me if you've ever seen what he looks like. Come to think of it, no. Which is weird, because I know I've seen pictures of the others. Here, check this out. Tell me what you think. I retrieved my phone from my pocket and pulled it up. The photo that Dom had sent me the night prior, before showing it to Jay. His response was almost immediate. He had quite clearly come to the same conclusion. What the? He looks just like him. Exactly. Weird, huh? Very. They have to be related, at the very least. But it's very strange. But hold on. Does this have anything to do with Ty? Or was that a smooth change in topic to avoid details? Spencer is Ty's other man. You're kidding. Seriously? Seriously. And nobody will tell me what the hell is going on. So, would you mind keeping your eyes peeled for me? Let me know if you hear anything that might be important. Of course, I'll keep you in the loop with anything I hear. I can't guarantee I'll hear anything. I understand. Thank you. But just so you know, with you and Ty now split, this puts me in an awkward position. It all sounds pretty shitty, but at the end of the day, I need to prioritize this opportunity I've been given with the Black Claws. I hope you understand. I do. Don't worry. And I don't mind if you have to keep your nose out of all this, but I would appreciate any help that you can lend. Certainly, I'll do what I can. And, hey, what is it? So, Logan, I hope you're not using some kind of distraction from everything, are you? No, not at all. It's actually a bizarre coincidence that we met one another today. Just a completely random encounter. And from the second I laid eyes on him, I just knew I had to have him. Knew I had to try. And there's nothing stopping me now. You aren't grieving? I don't seem to be. I guess we're only together a little while. If anything, I'm not salty about it at all. But maybe it wasn't enough time. Maybe I was kind of expecting something to go wrong. I never made myself vulnerable. Or maybe I'm just in shock. I don't know. Also, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to cut this right here because, funny enough, I feel like I left the stove on. So be right back. And I'm back. Sorry, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, well, I never leave the, cooktop on, but I don't remember turning it off. It wasn't on. I don't seem to be. I guess we're only together a little while. If anything, I'm just salty about it all. Maybe it wasn't the time. I was gonna expect things to go wrong, vulnerable. I think I always read that. So then, Logan, you? What are you exactly hoping to achieve with him? Well, nothing involved. No lies. But anything else a fair game. Which is code for, I would suck his dick until the cows come home. Am I right? I mean, you're not wrong. Perhaps it would be sensible to have seen it first. Yes? I have. It's a big part of what attracted me to him to start off with. We're all at the hot springs, and the... Whoa, hold the phone. Hot springs, did you say? We have hot springs? Yeah. Take those steps up the overlook north of town, and if you follow the road a bit, there's an unmarked path leading through the trees to it, open to the public. Well then, I know what I'm doing my next day off. As long as you don't mind, them being the traditional kind. You know, the only attire allowed is your birthday suit. Oh, hell yes. You're speaking my language. I know exactly who I'm gonna ask along. It's gonna be great. Who? Eric? Anyway, sorry, back to the topic. So, what, you just saw he was packing heat, and that was your motivation you needed? Not quite. I actually been really sensitive to smells recently. I think Ty sort of opened up the floodgates for me, and now I can smell all kinds of things. Anyway, smell. Oh my god. I could have pounced on top of him right there and then. Surprised didn't, to be honest. I just lost my damn mind. Smells. Interesting. My nose isn't quite so good, but I can smell a few things here and there. I'm happy so long as I don't feel compelled to go around sniffing butts. Hey, that's just the wild species. Us two-legged types don't do that. But you would if you could, right? Shut up. Knew it. Anyway, I'm not gonna hassle you over this whole thing. You've got to do what you gotta do sometimes. That just means sleeping with somebody on a whim? God knows I've done it. How do you think Aaron and I met? Now I can say I knew it. Hey, don't judge. The boy wears his desires on his sleeves. He's joyfully uncomplicated, notoriously brazen, and open-minded to boot. He and I have a lot of fun, with none of the complexities. It's a match made in heaven, if I do say so myself. Just make sure you listen to what Logan wants before you listen to what your loins want, okay? I've been in your shoes, and I can say from experience, communication's the key, even when it comes to the simple stuff. And with Logan, I don't know him well, even if I can tell you he's utter crap at it. But even if I can tell you he's utter crap at it. Oh, communication, sorry. So employ your intuition. Pay attention to his body language, his stance, his breathing. They would tell you a lot more than he is likely to. You really do speak from experience, huh? I've seen more action than a war veteran. My most esteemed friend. Alas, it looks as though the object of your newfound affection has returned. Hey Logan, I've paid up. Ready to head out? Sure. Alright, thanks for the service, Jay. And the advice. Always good to speak to someone with so many hours in the field. Many hours indeed. Even days, weeks, and months. Years. You two take care, and don't do anything I wouldn't. Somehow, I feel like that leaves us with a lot of opportunities. Jay snickered off to serve his new seated patrons, and I struck something up, resembling a conversation with Logan, trying to ascertain what our next move be. So, I take it probably want to go back home? Yes. Where do you live? Rivermore Close. Close? Is it Rivermore Close? South side of town. Well, what do you know? I only live a couple of blocks from there. If you could endure some more of my company, I'd be happy for us. I'll be quite happy for us to walk together. Do you want to? Are you kidding? Of course. Two handsome guys walking in the waterfront, warming our fur in the afternoon sun. Sounds like my idea of the good time. Okay. With that final leg of our outing planned in advance, the two of us set off, making our way to the beginning of the waterfront path that would take us almost all the way back to our respective houses. And with that, I'm gonna call it. Hey, we're only 5 minutes over time this time. So, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So comment, guys, I like comments. I'm getting a lot of text messages for some reason. Tell me if you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to epic grow. And please remember to spay your animals to control the pet population. And if you're interested in playing this game, it's available for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon, which is $5 a month, $54 a year. And until next time, Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix, a Sileo Tales New Dawn. Also, just a side note, I don't know why, but for some reason Movavi, the thing I use to edit and censor these videos, seems to take a long time to do it. Like the last video I posted, it's taken 53 minutes to process and still got an hour and 33 to go. I really don't think running Sileo and OBS and FaceRig would really just slow it down. But who knows? Maybe it's all these bright colors. So anyways, thanks and see you.